Welcome to Podnutz Daily, episode number 203. Today, Paul Ayala joins us from Karante Online. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. Let me pull up your website here. Karante Online. It's COURANTE online.com. That is your IT consultant firm.
Yes, sir.
So, Paul, are you more computer repair oriented, or are you more of a consultant?
Started off mostly just computer repair for end users at their homes, and a lot of my friends, family. That's usually how everybody gets started. Coworkers, things like that.
Right.
And then little by little, I kind of moved on to helping out a couple of small businesses here in San Antonio, and from there, I just kind of added that to my list of services. And along with that, I was always interested in doing website development, so I added that as well. So it's kind of a all-in-one IT resource service.
Okay, good. How do you how do you get your business?
Really, mostly word of mouth, just like everybody else will tell you in this industry. That's probably the best way to go. You help somebody out and you go the extra mile. They're usually more than willing to recommend you to their family and friends.
So that's how you started, and you kind of just went with word of mouth, and that's brought you to where you are now?
Yes, and it's still the most common way that I get new clients.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining us. Let me see real quick here. Okay, great. Well, what did you want to talk about then? You got some stuff you wanted to mention. We're not going to just do straight computer repair jobs. You got a bunch of stuff that sounded like it would be pretty interesting for all computer repair techs.
Yeah, I've kind of just wrote some notes down for myself and divided up into 3 or 4 categories. The first thing, I guess, since Windows 7 is still pretty new, I just wanted to briefly touch on that. I did mention before in the Great Tech Debate that I was on that I have a new 64-bit system that I built and put the release candidate on there, and I'm still running that. I have not had any need to rush to do the upgrade. But as I mentioned to you before we went on, I was looking at wanting to test the method that Paul Thurrott put on his SuperSite, where you can either download the ISO or burn an ISO off the installation disk. And there's a file on there called cversion.ini, and it's pretty much just a basic text file that lists the minimum OS required to be present in order to allow the upgrade, in-place upgrade. And you can edit that and change one of the build numbers to 7000, and that'll enable you to do an in-place upgrade from the beta or release candidate.
My build is 7100. Does that matter?
That's the release candidate. 7000 is the beta before that.
I get you.
So you can use either one depending on what you're running.
Cool. So, and what would you upgrade to? You mean like just to the retail of professional or home premium?
The one problem is that the release candidate was only the Ultimate Edition, and you can't downgrade when you're doing an in-place, so you'd have to go to the Windows 7 Ultimate.
That sucks.
So there is going to be a price issue there. You're going to have to pay a little more to get Ultimate for not a whole lot more features. But in my case, if it works fine, for one, it's something I can report on to my clients. But at the same time, it'll prevent me from going through a lot more steps because I have literally over 100 software programs already installed on the release candidate.
Right. Do you have Ultimate?
Yes. Anybody that's running the release candidate, it's the Ultimate Edition.
No, I mean, do you have the retail version of Ultimate?
I haven't purchased it yet, but I'm looking at it in the next couple of weeks.
Now, just curious, what's the rush? Because are you just curious to see if it would work? Because we have till, May before this runs out, or August of next year?
I believe it's March.
Okay.
Unless that's changed, but that's exactly why I haven't upgraded yet. But I figure the sooner the better.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't see any need to, some people like to wait until there's a service pack or something like that to go, into the final release. But I've been running it since an early beta, and I have had very little issues with it. Most of them have been fixed just by updates.
Yeah. Besides the crash that happened just before we started the show, I haven't had a problem hardly ever. I think my dad. I'm running an RC candidate on here on a quad core Windows machine. My dad was using his computer before I went on the air, so maybe he is to blame. We'll see.
Yeah, the only two issues that I really ran into was one, my TV tuner doesn't have a driver, not even for Vista, so of course that wasn't going to work. So I have to get a better one of those.
Yeah.
And then I did have some audio problems up front, oddly enough with Skype, but that particular audio problem seemed to go away after a couple of updates. I didn't experience that the last time on Tech Debate, and I'm not experiencing it now. So
yeah, and I've been running Skype okay on this computer, and it's just been running RC the release candidate the whole time. So the thing I did have a problem with 7, it wasn't really 7's fault, was my Blu-ray software, my Blu-ray playing software didn't have any Windows 7 compatibility. So I mean, it runs on Vista, and that's ArcSoft Total Media Theater, which is it's a great Blu-ray player. If you have a Blu-ray ROM drive in your computer, you want to watch Blu-ray movies, you have to get the software. You could run that, and it integrates perfectly with Windows Media Center. It actually has like a little application in there, but it wouldn't run with Windows 7, so that was a problem.
Yeah, and I just had a coworker today ask me about it because he works in our computer services group for our department, and he knows I've been running Windows 7. He asked me about it, and he mentioned Blu-ray, but I told him, I'm not ready to invest in that yet because ever since HD format went out, there really hasn't been a spike in sales in Blu-ray, so it's kind of up in the air as to the future of that.
Yeah, I know, but the reason I got it is because it is the best you can get right now. If you want to watch a movie, you want to see it in full 1080p, you got to get Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even have an HD monitor right now. That's another upgrade in my future. So it would kind of be a waste, I think, right now investing in that kind of. You
mean what, on your computer?
It's a standard old monitor that I've kind of just reused with multiple systems.
Okay, all right. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm talking about a media center PC for that because I have the Windows 7 on this machine, but I wanted to put it on my media center PC. But that was the only problem because I had the Blu-ray player in there. I wanted Windows 7. Everything else worked great except for that one piece of software. But
and the beautiful thing with Windows 7 is that almost every edition, I think, except for the starter edition, comes with the Media Center built in.
Yeah.
So I'm eager to get that TV. I have my eye on a TV tuner that also has a radio tuner in it, and it'll do HD channels and all that. When I get that, I'll probably upgrade the monitor.
Which tuner is it?
Forget it's basically an ATI TV tuner, but it's an off brand that's using the chip.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to go and check my bookmarks to find it.
Don't worry about it.
But it's $100 TV tuner.
Okay. Yeah, Windows Media Center is a great TiVo. It's a great TiVo. Does a great job for that.
Yeah, it's been working great as far as my normal DVDs and all.